last week on The Blueprint.
I am so excited to welcome my friend Chuck Honabach from Realty One Group to our podcast today. And we are talking about the balancing act of being a business owner.
That's very similar to the same thing as in real estate. So
That's
every
so
new
true.
buyer or seller, they have a different journey they're going on, a different type of home they're looking for, different areas. So it's almost like we have to be chameleons.
Yeah.
And change, but our back internal side has to still remain the same. So they're getting the same experience,
but it's being tailored
to their needs. Yeah. And so that's definitely a challenge for, I think, a lot of business. That, again, it's all that balance of how do you jump between things.
Have you done the DISC personality?
I have.
Okay. So you're a D.
Oh, 99% D.
I would have put you at a solid 100.
I don't think they ever give 100.
So here's the crazy thing. I am a D professionally. Personally, I am an S.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see it, but it's very, so we'll use for example in work, I want it like the staples have to be gold. We don't buy silver staples, we buy gold staples, and the process has to be followed, and the experience, I'm very at
Structured.
every touch point. And in my personal life, example being, my sister plans all of our big family vacations, and I literally just show up.
Mm-hmm.
And I would never do that but it's interesting that in that part, like, I just want to be a part of the family. I don't want to not think about anything.
So that's probably where my balance gets off, is because I have what I want, just like you're saying, the gold staples, but I'm not good at putting that structure together. I'll do it.
Yeah.
But you put it together. In other words, it's sometimes I think I'm a better employee.
Well, that makes, the D, because you see the vision, and that is very much the D, and your C personalities are the ones that are the implementers. They're the ones that are paying attention to every detail. I'm not the one going on and ordering the gold staples. That's the C personality.
Yep.
That's the C member on the staff. But that member also doesn't want to create the system. They just want to check the boxes. And so each one has a very important seat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Huge
absolutely.
seat. And the chameleon part that I was going to say is I learned that many, many years ago is that your personality also has to morph to the person who's in the room with you. And if the homeowner or our client, if they're a D personality, they honestly don't care at all about how you made it work. They just want to know that it's done and it's doing the thing, right? But if you have a C personality client, they need to know why you did it, how you did it, and they want to know the process. They don't want to know that it's just done. But if you put a D personality in a client meeting and you're talking all the C things, they're like they're gone. They are checked out. They're checking their, because they don't, not that they don't care.
It's not that they don't care. It's how they absorb the information.
They just need to know that it has been done and it's been released off their plate.
That's how I am.
Yep. And then your S's want to know that you love them and care about them. And that is really important to them, that they are heard and seen, and they need you to take the time to explain each section and know that it's the right choice for them. And then you have the I's that are just like show me the ROI. Show me the ROI. Show me the ROI. And when are we going to cocktails?
Yeah, it's so true. It's the other one that I just have been introduced to just at this past when I was at this conference last week was Cliff Notes.
I haven't heard of that.
Clifton Notes.
Clifton Strength Finders?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
That I'm hearing that tying both of them together.
Yeah.
Is a really good.
Clifton Strength Finders was our next on our book club, and then we paused our book club because EOS was so good.
Right.
I was like, we need to take a couple months to divulge into this, and then we're going to do Clifton Strength Finders is very cool.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It shows you your personality, how you process information, and what your strengths are, which helps you put the right people
in the right seat. Yeah.
And put people where, example being, in total transparency, my dead last one is empathy. Isn't that interesting?
Did you have no empathy?
Apparently.
See, so that's so interesting because that's so interesting because you don't come across that way.
Yes, but
And see, that's why I think when you like in the DISC profile, you have your adaptive D.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is how you are, but this is how you adapt when you talk about somebody else being in the room. That's very interesting because I would have never picked up empathy because I always feel warmth or compassion when I'm talking.
Compassionate, yeah.
But empathy to me go together.
Okay, but I want to fix it.
Okay.
I don't want to just sit with you and be like, my business is awful and it's all falling apart. And you just sit there and be like, I know. Let's just have tea and lament. Like that is not, you know, like I'm gonna be like, let's fix it. That sucks. Let's go. Like, you know, so that, but for here, things that, again, my D personality is important to me is to make sure we remember everybody's birthday, to make sure we remember everybody's anniversary and that we celebrate those successes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put it on me to think of the personalized gift for that person and to write the really warm message inside the card and to go to the grocery store and do all those pieces, it shuts me down. But to Shannon, she will remember all of those things. And to me, I want the person to feel felt. Yep. I know that that's incredibly important. But I want you who loves doing that, you're going to get the better gift. You're going to remember what their favorite cake flavor is. You're going to pick the balloon that, you know, and you're going to find joy in all of that versus I'm going to be like, oh my God, I have to go to all these places. Where am I going to fit that into my day? You know, so that's putting the right people in the right seats. Yeah. I've said this is important. It's very important. But you know, Shannon has so much more empathy than I do.
That's interesting though.
I just want to fix it. Like, you know,
okay,
no? we're not going to sit in it. We're going to fix it.
Right.
You know, and
that's cool.
You know, I would make a horrible therapist, which is also why I failed in therapy. Like I went to my, Casey and I talked about this on Write That Down. I went to therapy 3 times. And by the 3rd time, I was like, this is a waste of my time. Like, you haven't fixed me yet. and Casey was like, well, that's not how it works. And I was like, I know. And by the 3rd session, I realized that therapy was not a good fit for me. But there are people that it's a really great fit for, and they need to take therapy. And it is hugely important. Yeah. But for me, I'm just sitting there thinking, my God, you know how productive I could be right now?
So I suffered the same thing. I tried to do something a couple years going back, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go for therapy.
Yeah. 2
sessions, I was like, no, I can't even focus in here. Why am I wasting the money? Because I'm wired like that. I have to be going and going and going and moving on to the next thing. And like I don't give enough time. And I'm probably not compassionate all the time either. Like, you know, let's just get this done.
Let's just get, you know, I'm a doer.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
but it's cool to doing Clifton Strength Finders to figure that out.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And Clifton Strength Finders does it that you have 26, I think it is, strengths. There are 26 strengths. And you don't have weaknesses. They're just your least prominent strength. It's, you know, a more positive way to say weakness.
I've got it.
But it's saying, looking at your top 5 and then determining, are you, as the leader, working in those strengths, because that's where you're going to feel powerful. That's where you're going to be engaged. That's where you're going to be energized. And then are you finding the right people to fill the seats on your team that aren't in those areas?
Very true.
Isn't that interesting?
Very, very true.
But then with each team member looking at,
looking at how they have to interact with each other too.
Right.
And then keeping that is how do you, keep them motivated. It's a lot, as a business owner, you're learning these things and you're learning how to put people together. It's stuff that's unique.
It is unique.
And that's what helps it thrive.
I think that as business owners in this post-COVID season, work has changed and people want to, which I think is a good thing. People want to find meaning and fulfillment in their job versus the generation that I grew up in, and I'm sure you grew up in, was you go to work, you do your job, you shut up, and off you go. Yep. And that is not the case anymore. And I think that is healthy for the employees, but a whole new dynamic that the employers have to learn and adjust to. Because I think that they look at the next generation sometimes and say that they're lazy. And it's not. They just need to know that there's a purpose behind what they're doing and that they are heard and acknowledged and appreciated for the work that they are doing. And they're just not going to come in and do it because you told them to do it. That's not a good enough answer anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. No, and I think that's a hard thing, as I come through business, that's hard because that has changed.
It has 100% changed.
And so you're trying to flip your brain to switch and say, okay, I've got to have which I'm going to use the word compassion. It may not be the right word, but you have to be able to say and understand where they're coming from now versus before it wasn't that way.
Correct.
It was like, here, you're basically punching the clock.
Correct.
And that's changed because the other thing that's changed all of this is work is not 9 to 5 anymore.
Correct.
Or 8 to 5.
Correct.
Work is pretty much 24/7 because we're attached to digital stuff. We're the electronic devices. So, if you have your email with you because you're a more remote employee, that you just don't ignore that.
Right.
I mean, if you are able to be wired enough that you say like, hey, it's 5 o'clock on a Friday and I'm never going to look at my email the entire weekend. I think everybody's shortchanging themselves when they do that because I think honestly they're checking it anyway.
Yeah.
So you have to look at how do you bring that into the mix as well.
Right.
So
and knowing that balance, that even when they need to work some nights and weekends, that they have the flexibility, that you as the employer on the other end also know that, hey, when something happens, that give and take.
Exactly.
But knowing that it is a give and a take.
Yep.
And not,
not just one direction.
one-sided.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, all right. So let's talk to kind of, this has been really great.
I've been enjoying this immensely.
It's so good. What would you say to kind of recap the balance? And I think even though we talked about lots of different things, that is all balance. Putting people in the right seats frees you. That gives you balance. You may be feeling out of balance in your business is because you either A, haven't taken the risk of hiring, and you're trying to do it all yourself, or you're hiring the wrong people in the wrong seats. So then you never feel the peace and the balance because you're constantly, like you're saying, the wheel is constantly going, did so-and-so do this? Did so-and-so do that? Because the structure isn't in place to have the checks and balances. But how would you say as a business owner that you find that balance when you feel like, okay, I need to balance things out?
Right now.
Yeah, because you're in the thick of it.
I am in this, and it's interesting because, I've talked with you, on side. I think as a business owner, we become paralyzed. And I'm going to say that in full transparency right now, I'm feeling paralyzed. Not paralyzed to doing what I need to do, but paralyzed in the aspect of hiring this person. How am I going to get this person? Am I going to get the right person?
Right.
Or am I just going to make more work for myself?
Or the other part with hiring, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right, no.
Is sometimes you feel like the house is such a mess.
Bingo.
That you're going to bring this new person in that might be the person in the right seat, but the seat is so dirty
so
that you're going to be like,
It's interesting. In real estate, I have a coach that I meet with every Friday, and I'm like, what? I want to have the CRM system completely set up. He's like, working the CRM system to build it toward is you need to go back to square one. Don't worry about you if you think it's a little bit of a mess. It needs to, just kind of like you were talking earlier, you're doing your EOS is how do we evolve? And evolve. And my problem is in looking at it, and I feel for the frozen section right now is I feel like the house is so out of order. And I feel like I'm bringing somebody into the chaos that's unfair advantage to them. But not being able to, as I talk to you now, I see it, but I get stuck in, I can't get through the trees to be able to look at the forest from the outside, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense.
How do I do this?
Right.
And there's not enough people around, and I am not a good delegator. That is another problem.
Because you're a D.
Because
you're
I'm a D.
99.9D.
I am. I'm. Let me just do it. And I think that because as I've grown through business and as I'm identifying these things in my own mindset, is I'm looking at my failures as they're putting walls up on me, and I'm trying to figure out how I get past that section, so to speak. And again, it's all part of when I talk to you. Light bulb goes off. And I think that's the piece for me is trying to find that. So I don't know if I really answered your question, but
did.
But that's the piece where I feel that as business owners, we get stuck in our own way.
There have been moments because we built so big so fast that I was like, let's just shut down the business for a month. and that is not a reality.
Right.
You can't just stop everything for a month and fix it all. You have to learn how to fix it through it.
And that's hard.
And that is hard. And what I would say about the balance piece of that is I have found there have been things structurally in the company that have been on my to-do list for
You're
a
on your
year.
radar. Mhm.
Yeah. And knowing that I'm not going to conquer all of them this week, but I'm going to pick the most important one first and then focus on that one
Mhm.
and then work on the next one. And for us, it was really refining the client experience first. And then it was making sure that all of our employees were set up with all of the benefits and the support for their well-being next. Now, the next step is to build for growth. But kind of compartmentalizing it into that helped me because my brain, very much like yours, was like, shut it all down. Let's fix everything and then reopen it. And that is not a thing.
And it's interesting. It's interesting to listen to you talk about that because one of the things is, I'm like, all of these things are important.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get them all done.
Yeah.
And,
but what is the most important?
And that's where I'm struggling right now. Is boom, boom, boom. I've got to label it because in my brain I think they all interlace some way.
Right.
And so I think it has to be all done at once.
And it can't be.
No, it can't.
You have to do, and that is why we had new hires come on and we would just say, welcome for 2 years. And now we're like, okay, we should have a,
have a plan.
Have a plan. But the most important thing was make sure that our client experience is great because our reputation and our client experience, they're paying us money and we're going to give them the support that they need. The second thing is, make sure that the team is cared for. And then the third thing is get the house in order, So, I mean, think of it like...
It's tough because you're also, like I'm thinking as we're talking about this, like my experiences in the different industries, people will come in and say, I want to join your team. And then you realize I don't have any computer like assets, so to speak. Not the computer itself, but they're not very good on
on technology.
And it's like, okay, how do I battle that piece? Or it just depends where they are in their life, and like that's the part that's very difficult.
Yes.
Versus I can't speak for your industry, but when people are coming in here, they're probably having some computer background, so you've got one aspect of that out of the way.
Right.
They understand file structure. Whereas I'm building that even for them.
That makes sense.
Which makes it even like, okay, how do I do this? And I need that outside help sometimes.
I get that. I mean, we all need that.
Yeah.
I can't do the books, period.
Okay.
Not even a little. So we have an outside support bookkeeper and accountant that does that. I just released it.
Okay.
And I check it and I try to pretend I know what it all means.
No, I get it.
But learning that that's not my strength and we don't have enough of that to have an internal person for that yet. So we're going to partner with the right people to take that off my plate because it's super important.
It is.
Hugely important. But somebody else can help me with that, that is trained in all of that good stuff.
Right.
One thing that I wanted to add for balance, which I think you do too, you just don't realize you do it.
Okay.
I love to travel.
Absolutely.
And I tell my team all the time, I was like, I will work every weekend, every night, knowing that the carrot at the end on that is my next trip. And I'm always the saddest if there's no next trip planned. Okay. And I think that that's because I love to work. I love it.
Okay.
But when I'm away, I can turn it off because my kids are there and my son is a doer. Like he can't just sit by the pool. Like he wants to go and experience the place. And we've had so many exciting trips because that's like a 2-week period twice a year that I just am present, with them. And it resets me and it makes me a better leader because one, I'm giving my team the opportunity to succeed without me and I'm coming back refreshed and then I can see things differently.
It's a true vacation.
It's a true vacation.
It's a true time away. So yes, I'm very much like you. I like the next trip. But I think as I've shared with you before, if you said to me, Chuck, Andy and I are going here, do you want to come along? I'm going to go.
I mean, I'm always going to go.
I'm
the
always,
answer is never no.
Yeah, exactly. My hardest part about that piece of it is I'm much like you in the aspect of all of a sudden it's like I forget that I have work. I take work with me to do, but I never accomplish it. And I'm always thinking to myself, well, there'll be downtime and it'll be quiet space. I won't get the interruptions. I'll be able to get caught up, and it doesn't happen. So I can appreciate what you're saying. It's just I need to get my house in order, so to speak, so that I don't have to worry about those things.
Yeah. I love when I travel the plane ride, both there and back. My kids know that I'm going to work the entire car ride to the airport, and I'm going to work the entire flight, and I will time it on the flight on all the closeout things I need to have done, all the notes that I need to have done. All of that is the plane ride. And when we get to the destination, aside for there are certain things that Shannon will decide as the office manager, she would want to call on this real quick.
Right.
I think I know her answer, but and her text to me is also very much, it's not urgent. When you have a minute, we have one question, and kind of is that buffer. And then my whole plane ride home, I am catching up on my emails, reading all the alerts, reading all the notes back to me. And so that when I get back, now the other thing I do, which you should too, I always take my day after I return off. And
Just
I
for
don't
catch-up.
come back to the office until the following day.
Okay.
And I've always done that because that way I have a day to make sure that the laundry is done. I've
Got
gone
it.
to the grocery store. All of those things that need to happen upon return are done so that I can come into the office truly refreshed and not be thinking about,
I've got laundry to
I
do.
got to unpack, I got to
Yeah.
do laundry, I got to, all of that. I come back in renewed.
Smart stuff.
Yeah. We also, a cool thing is that one of the things, again, growing, we realize, hey, our clients are totally cool if their contact isn't here for a week, as long as they know it ahead of time. So that if they have something that they know that's going to be urgent, that is taken care of before they leave, and they're given that window of opportunity, and then they have a backup contact, right? So we started doing vacation off-board meetings and vacation re-entry meetings when
Okay.
somebody goes on a week vacation. So that way you type all of your notes about all your clients, what they like, how they're communicated with, what projects you're working on, what needs to be done or scheduled while you're away. And then we have this note path to run on with whoever the assigned team member is that's covering for them that week.
Okay.
And then upon re-entry, then we just provide them with any feedback. And usually it's in the Google Doc as the notes. But like we lost Ryan and Emma for a week.
Yeah.
That's two. And it was the most seamless process. Like, wouldn't you agree, Emma? The only one that really the world goes upside down when they leave is Shannon. Because
Shannon's the glue.
Shannon's the glue. She's the mama of the house. And when the mama leaves.
So that happens. That happens.
And we've discovered it's because her job is so reactive that you can't pre-do it. And it can't wait a week. So.
Well, you can't determine what's going to happen.
And yes, correct.
So let me ask, when you travel and you do all your stuff on the plane till you get there, when you get there, then you don't look at any email at all?
I turn it off on my phone.
Wow.
Because if it's on my phone and you're standing in line for something, you're on the bus, you're going to open it and you're going to see it. And you're like, let me just call the office really quick and make sure they got it.
Yep.
They got it.
Wow. That's you've built a good team.
I have.
But
and it has not always been that way.
Right.
Each trip that I take is better than the last one. Every
Correct.
single one. Because
you're morphing it.
Yep.
Yep, definitely.
And Shannon is a great, and any business owner, have a great gatekeeper. And she can think how my brain thinks. And she is always she's always got my back. And she also knows, yes, she's on vacation and yes, we're not bothering her, but we really know that she would want to give the final approval on this. And so we're going to allow her the opportunity to do that. And I think that that's what lets me turn everything off, because I know if it's something truly that I need to have an opinion on or give the okay.
You know that they're going to do that.
That I know that they're going to do that. Yeah.
That's what it should be.
Yeah.
That's the balance of it all.
Yeah. So balance is possible.
It
but
is.
If you want to be a business owner, you better be a workhorse.
You do. And I think
And that is in your DNA. It's in who you are as a human being.
it is. And I think if you don't know it, like you said, you don't know the accounting. You've got to do the resource. You got to find the resources and
that you trust.
yeah. Oh, you absolutely have to trust because especially when it comes to the accounting, there's a lot there.
The cheapest option usually should be a red flag because there's a reason they're the cheapest option.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and invest in the right people and invest in the right support team for whatever you're doing. And as an entrepreneur, you know, make sure that, and I say this a lot too, we're all created that some of us are created to be business owners and some of us are created to be really amazing employees. And knowing which you are and following that journey for your career is also super important.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. I'm going to ask you a question. In the aspect of balance.
Yeah.
So you have a business.
I have
Your
a business.
husband has a job as well. And, you know, he's doing his thing. How much do you balance and bring that into your exterior office environment?
What do you mean?
So do you take work home?
Oh, got it.
In other words, so, you know, you have your vision, your goal for your company here. How much do you interlink that with inside your family? Because that's a balance.
That is a balance.
Yeah, because you can come home and work and talk about your work, bounce ideas. Like, where does that hit you?
Such a great. So I use this when I talk to people all the time. My husband is an amazing employee. That is where he finds his purpose. It is where he is very much safety and security, and he loves that safety and security. He's also really good at when he is at work, he is at work.
Okay.
And when he is not at work, he is not at work. So my husband truly does not check his email nights and weekends. His phone does not ring from work. When he is at work, he is at work.
Okay.
And when he is at home, he is at home. And he doesn't really talk about work much.
Okay.
Very, very minimal. If anything, it's more of his interaction with his coworkers.
Okay.
So more of the social side of his job, not the business side. Every now and then, you know, I can tell when they're in a tough season or had some turnover, and so that's more on his plate in that season. But largely, that's what makes him a great employee.
Okay.
He can work really hard at work and turn it all off, which to me and you is a concept we can't even comprehend.
Yeah. So you go home and talk about work.
I do.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, my kids know all of my clients' names. They know all, I mean, Bella watching our reels on Facebook, she will steal my phone and watch the same reel from KMC over and over. She listens to both podcasts.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, we talk about my business a lot, but we don't. And I work a lot in the evening.
Right.
I also work a shorter day during the day so that I can get on the bus, off the bus, things like that. So I think it's just personality.
Interesting.
Contingent.
And it's interesting. And you have to have that balance with home just so they have to understand what mommy or daddy are doing.
Yes.
So that they realize that the stuff that we're getting to experience, your 2-week trips, you know, you guys did that baseball stadium thing, you know, that's not possible
without the work.
what you guys are doing.
Yep.
You know, both you and Andy, and they have to have support in the system too.
We work hard so we get to play hard.
Exactly.
And that is very important. The other thing that I thought of is one time I asked Bella, and I was like, Bella, what does mommy do for a living? And she named all the products, services, everything that we do, right? And I said, what does daddy do for a living? And she goes, he works in an office. And that was literally, she was like, they have a really big printer. And that was
all she knew.
That was all she knew.
Because he doesn't talk about it.
Right.
That's interesting.
But it was so interesting to just know the dynamic
how she conceptualized it. Yeah, that's cool.
And they also know that I will work in the car, I will work at home, but they also 100% know that when we're at the band competition, the baseball game, I will work the whole car ride there, and I will shut it and leave it in the car. And you know, so they know that I am at the things and I am present.
Right, you're present in it.
At the things. Yeah.
That's definitely the biggest balance.
Yeah.
That's definitely that would be the biggest challenge. That's why I say I don't know if I could do it.
Everybody should learn, if you have a significant other that drives you places, everybody should pray that they are able to work in the car and not get car sick. I feel like that is a great gift that I have that not everybody has, because you can have so much time where you're just in the car. So
I just have to give up the driving.
See, give up the driving. Well, and did you know too, here, everything that Shannon and I go to together, Shannon drives.
I did
And
not know that.
I will work the whole way there and the whole way back, and she will get
Okay.
me to. I do not. My life goal is to have a driver. His name will be Bruce.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's on my vision board.
We'll share them. No, because I always say that too. I would think, wouldn't it be great if I could have somebody who just drove me around
Yes.
all the time?
Yes.
That I could be answering my text messages, answering the phone, looking things up, because it
It's what we
doesn't
need. We need
fail
a driver.
when we
We're
are
not
in
being
a car.
productive.
Exactly.
It's a
'cause
waste of time.
We're in the car
We're
and
in
our
the car.
brain is thinking of stuff as we're driving along. It's like, oh shoot, I really should have sent a text. Oh, that email. And all the wording that you really want is coming perfectly at that time.
Yep.
And then you get where you are and you're, what did I want to say?
What did I want to say?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. So
Yep.
I'm with you on that one.
Well, Chuck,
Right,
it has
cool.
been an absolute pleasure.
It's been great.
Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
being my guest on the podcast
Oh,
today.
wonderful.
And if you need commercial cleaning, he's your guy.
Yep.
If you want to book a birthday party, he's your guy. And most importantly, if you are looking to buy or sell your home, he is the man.
I am here to help
So,
you. Yes.
awesome.
Love
Thank
it,
you, Chuck.
You're welcome. Thank you.